We may all agree on one thing, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Wrong. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And I know we all believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as written in the Declaration of Independence, penned by Thomas Jefferson and the Founding Fathers. But when you take a look at life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you see the very essence of where we have factionalized this country. Now, it's my contention that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is in that order. Now, that may be because, let's say, I'm a more seasoned individual than my son by about 50 years. So, life to me is very, very precious. Now, I know you're going to say life is very precious to Eli, who at this very moment is 15 years old. But the point is, people of that age feel themselves as being indestructible. I know I did. And I'm fairly certain that, the older you get, the less indestructible you feel, especially as you start having this malady and that malady and so on and so forth as far as your health is concerned. But when you're young and strong and healthy and full of whiz and vinegar, you are indestructible. Well, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So people that are my age, people that I speak to on the phone right now during this challenging era in our lives, unlike any other, is people, my buddies for the most part are, hey, I don't go out, I try and get all my groceries sent over, I minimize whatever contact I can with the outside world, and I keep my distance. I'm very conscious of the fact to wear a mask anytime I ever step out. I'm very conscious of people that come into my orbit, and I'm very quick to avoid confrontation and move away, and I feel very vulnerable. That's the mindset of people that are in my age bracket. All right, I would say probably people that are 50 and above. And the people that are below that are much more focused on liberty and the pursuit of happiness. They treasure that. I'm not saying they treasure that more than life, but they feel that that is something that is much more important to them right now, this minute. And I didn't say that very well, and I hope that you can feel what I feel in that regard. Now, because to be cooped, you feel like you're cooped up, you feel like you have no liberty, you have no freedom. But if you take them in the order that they were given, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, first comes life. Now, I'm telling you that we are willing to give up liberty in the pursuit of happiness, and let me prove that to you. Up until the time before 9/11, when you went to the airport, boom, you just get out of your car, almost go right to the plane if you had your ticket. You give the people money at the gate, they took your bags, boom, you were gone, they checked you in, you had your seat already, bing, bang, boom. But now we are willing to give up the liberty of having the government check our bags, check our person, to make sure that nobody is carrying anything contraband on the plane. So we're giving up that liberty because they don't have any real legal reason, no probable cause to search anyone, yet they do, and we all accept it because we're willing to give up that liberty in order to preserve, quote unquote, our life, so that we don't get on a plane that's not a good plane to get on. So the point is, there's a history of people giving up their liberty in order to preserve life. And I recognize that I come from my personal perspective. Everyone has their own perspective. It troubles me when I hear things about politicians that tested positive, that went to legislative sessions. I think this was in Pennsylvania, and didn't tell anybody. It's like somebody having AIDS and then going out and seeking a new partner. Why would you do that? Is there anything more selfish than that? Now, from my perspective, when I look into my crystal ball and I see all these people congregating at the beach, congregating at swimming pools, protesting this, protesting that, and I have nothing wrong with the people protesting. You know, you're allowed to have your voice, I amongst them. But when they do it in close quarters, this virus doesn't recognize anything except, how can I get to somebody else? That's the feeling that I have. And my thought is, just as I predicted, you know, at the beginning when this thing first came out, the first thing I said is, hey, we should all be wearing masks. And the government people, Dr. Fauci included, say, oh, it's not that important that you wear a mask. Right? Well, obviously it is. One of the other things I said was it's important to have some protection for your eyes, glasses, goggles, something like that. Why? 3 places the virus can catch you: the mouth, the eyes, the nose. Protect all 3. Recently there was a gentleman, I believe in the media, that said he got it, he thinks, from something that went into his eyes. Why aren't we protecting those things? You know, I mean, this to me is just absolute common sense. But I can also understand, you know, people like my son that are itching to get out there and play basketball. It's, you know, there's no school. What am I going to do now? He's going crazy, and so on. You kind of have to have that grit to hang on a little bit, because when you do, good results are going to happen. And it just boggles my mind how people in decision-making positions can come up with a series of guidelines and then give a wink and a nod and say, yeah, but if you don't really want to, you don't have to follow those. But my point is that when we have all these gatherings, people in close quarters, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? There's going to be a major spike, and then we're going to be back to where we were. Does this make sense? I'm sorry if I'm preaching. I know this is my point of view. I don't buy into the argument that we need to get the economy going. The people, more people are going to suffer this, that, and the other thing, and there's going to be more suicides and more depression and so on. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's what happens in troubled times. I appreciate that. But what do you think is going to happen when we have these major spikes and the hospitals get all filled up again? The economy is just going to go right back down the tubes like it did before. And then we're going to be starting from an even lower position. So I invite you to disagree with me, to write a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. But this is the way I feel about it. And I'm very weary of contact at this particular point in time, because I feel like this is an incredibly vulnerable time, because people are out there and they have a false sense of security and they're getting into very close quarters. So that's my rant for today. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.